what's going on? This is Travis P11. I don't do a lot of prepper videos. I'd mentioned a few things that I've purchased here and there. There's some great resources out there on YouTube that you guys should be watching for prepping. If you do. If you don't, or if you do, there's one thing that a lot of people tend to overlook. I've watched quite a few prepping videos in my lifetime. And, there's a couple items we take into consideration. Okay, do you think that the prepper forgets this? No, the prepper's got the firearm, right? Or numerous firearms, the ammo to go along with it. Do you think the prepper forgets about this? No, the prepper probably has those in every nook and cranny in their vehicle. Glock trench knife. Everybody needs one of those. The one thing that a prepper may not take into consideration, especially if you've got a family or you've got multiple people that you need to take into a situation where you're going to have to bug out, leave your domicile, take off, head for the hills for just personal safety, is one of these. Okay, now you're gonna say what? A map? A map? I got a map out in my car. I've got one of these things out in my car. Okay, what we have here, guys, is the DeLorme Atlas and Gazetteer. Okay, my wife picked this up for me at Walmart. They were 20 bucks. We did pay for it out of our own money. This is not any kind of a product placement. What's really cool about this is if we have to hit the hills, I'm familiar with the immediate area, okay? I'm familiar with the areas that I go hunting in. I'm familiar with the areas that I go shooting in. If I had to get out of those areas, get out of my comfort zone, so to speak, and go somewhere, and I had limited resources, because your gas is not going to last forever. Your food and water is not going to last forever. If I got to go someplace so that we can get away from everybody, hopefully, right, I'm going to pull this out. Now, this book is huge, okay? This thing's over a foot tall. You can get smaller versions of this. You might say, well, I got my cell phone, or I got my Garmin GPS, or whatever. If you want to go back to the basics, something that does not require a power source or power supply or batteries to run, okay, your Atlas and Gazette or Gazetteer is going to be the way to go. All right, so what kind of advantages does something like this offer over a standard map? Well, first of all, it's incredibly detailed, okay? It breaks Nebraska down into a grid, and they have these for basically every state, make it easy for you to find the page so that you know exactly where to start, okay? You've got a legend on the left-hand side, and it's going to tell you where the railroad lines are, state highways, minimum maintenance roads, gravel roads, wetlands, woodlands, agriculture use areas. Pretty much any available resource that you might need to survive is going to be listed on the legend. It's going to help you find those things. Now, hopefully you live in a state where you have these available to you, okay? Now, just don't follow the railroad lines, because we all know what happens at Terminus. But anyway, okay, so you've got the grid zones, okay? Now, it also features a complete listing. Find it here. Okay, you've got your state parks and recreation areas, which if you needed to find some heavy woodland and you needed to go someplace where you could go hide, because I live out in the prairie, so it's open for miles and miles and miles. Many of our state parks and rec areas have thick woodlands. This might be a place to consider. Now, is everybody else going to consider going to some place like this? They might. It's a possibility. Obviously, you might want to shy away from the campgrounds, but you're going to have some available resources here that you might not have in other places in a true SHTF situation. Wildlife viewing areas and so on. So, not so much with these, but just to know that you can find places that you could go. Maybe these would be set up as safe zones in an SHTF situation, because they are habitable, but they still offer you some sort of shelter and protection. All right, hunting areas. In Nebraska, these are designated hunting areas, okay? Why are these listed as hunting areas? Well, because they're places where there's enough, I guess you could say, creatures and enough, food gathering resources available that you could find those things there, okay? These are areas that they have chosen that need to be maintained because of an animal population. You've got a list of hundreds, okay, in the state of Nebraska. And yeah, the food supply is going to get decimated quick, so hopefully you planned ahead and you've got enough food to get by for a while, but you've got lots of hunting areas that are also listed in here. Again, you don't find these things easily on a standard map. Fishing. Okay, well, you can fish, all right? If you can fish, you can survive, right? You've got access to food. Ice fishing might be a little complicated in an SHTF situation, but look at all these fishing areas that are listed, okay? Again, another useful little bit of information that you need. Okay, then it breaks into the actual zones itself, and let me show you what's really cool about these maps. I don't know, you probably haven't looked at one of these since grade school, but maybe now's the time to consider picking one up and just really throwing it in your bug out bag or your bug out box or your vehicle or whatever. Okay, it does show you topography, so let's just say you got to run for the hills. Do you really know what you might find 25 miles north of the town you live in, or what kind of train you're going to run into if you have to bus off to the northeast 100 miles? lack of water, high hills, okay, heavy terrains, you realize what you're actually heading into. I'm just using that as an example. Okay, all these little red lines that you see on the map, these are all basically city roads or county roads, okay? What's great about it is if you get lost out in the middle of nowhere, you can find one of the roads and basically find out where you are. Remember, there's no telling if your phone is going to be functional in an SHTF situation. That Google Maps is not going to be there when the world starts to fall apart. Obviously, you know, you want to stay in your home as long as you possibly can, but if you can't, what are you going to do? Okay, we say, well, I'm going to go this way and then go straight down. Okay, you're going to run into wetland, which might make things kind of complicated in the springtime, and you might not know that when you're going out there. Obviously, you've got the standard, you know, map information, borders, towns, and so on. But for detailed information, stuff that you're going to need for pure straight up survival, this would be an absolute godsend. You've got bodies of waters listed, so if you've got your water filter straws, and you should, you can find water supplies if you need it. It's one of those things where if we had to go, I mean, I really haven't thought about places we could really go to and survive on. I mean, I have a few remote areas we might be able to make it to, but it's not like we've got a community that we can run off to if we needed to actually abandon the house. Hiking areas, paddling areas, so if you had to take to water, you could do that too. I don't know, when I saw it, I thought to myself, man, there's a lot of useful information that's in something like this for somebody that could be in a bad situation that needs to get away, right? Whether you're a survivalist or a prepper, I mean, just get one of these, throw in your vehicle, study your state or city that you live in so you know what kind of resources that you have nearby. Because remember, guys, food and water are going to be those two crucial things that you're going to need maybe a few months after a situation breaks out or a couple years. Yes, your animal populations are going to be decimated quickly, but these are still grounds where you might be able to find some food and game. So that's pretty much my soapbox. That's my little lesson for today. So get to your local Walmart or wherever, I don't care, go to a used bookstore. Maybe you can find one of these cheap. It's not like county roads really change that often, or that your topography is going to change that often. If you buy a 20-year-old Gazetteer or whatever, great. If you get one for $1 at a garage sale, great. Think about picking one up. There's some vital information in here that can definitely keep you alive. Oh, boat ramps, campgrounds, places to explore. Okay, and also it's just nice to have so that you can become more familiar with your area and explore where you live safer than you might do if you have to just simply rely on a map or a cell phone. Okay, so there you have it. That's my little lecture. That's my little lesson for today. Pick yourself up a DeLorme Atlas and Gazetteer. Like I said, this is not a product placement, but I find this incredibly useful. And it's something that I'm definitely going to keep in the bug out box in my vehicle. So there you have it, guys. This is Travis P11. I want you to have fun, be safe. All right, please check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I've got the link information below. Check out SS Pond in Lexington, Nebraska if you're looking for a firearm. Stan is a great guy to talk to. And I've also got the contact information in the bottom of the video. Check out your little Gazetteer and take it and go get lost and see if you can find your way back. I'm pretty sure that with something like this, you can. All right, so there you go, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Please like or subscribe as always. And again, have fun, be safe, and we will talk to you soon. Goodbye.